Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everyone, to episode 278 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's just being sexy for no reason at all with me tonight?
I am Joe Butler and Avocado.
I am Dominic, and the shadow remains cast.
I'm Dan Mellman, and they took my intro, so I'm just going to say I'm Dan. Hi, glad to be here.
But I went too early.
I'm Ian Bauer, and I'm wearing a merkin and a wig to fit in.
Gross. And I'm Michael Colby, and I skipped all the dialogue, so I have nothing funny to say about this.
I can't even remember what I beat this game 3 days ago, and I don't even really remember the stuff she says.
To be fair,
I'm skipping dialogue right now, and this game is amazing without cutscenes.
y'all are all fucking rude. Also, I'm really glad I didn't pick that, Dominic, because that was my second choice, so I'm really glad I didn't say that.
So we're all here to talk about
I heard it way too
Bayonetta,
many times.
developed by Platinum Games, published by Sega, at least to start with, and this came out in 2009.
Yeah, track.
Damn, that's in
Did everyone play it out?
Steam Deck, baby.
On the Switch.
I played on PC. First played on PS3. It's a bad version of this game.
I'm the only Wii U player here.
Nice. I forgot this is on Wii U, even though I own the copy with it on Wii U. I forgot it's on Wii U.
Yeah, it
We
came
also
with
played the
two.
Devil's Third right after.
That's kind of the reason why I volunteered to come on the show, because I'm like, oh yeah, I have that on Wii U. I should just play it.
Isn't the Wii U version like super like easy? Can't you like tap the touchscreen and like auto battle or something like that?
I did not mess with that because that seemed really stupid.
You can do that on Switch for sure.
The game is easy if you put it on very easy, by the way. You don't need to do anything but just press buttons and watch everything die real fast. I tried it, and I'm like,
that's
too
my
easy.
first problem here, is that the normal was hard for me, and then easy was like, oh, this is too easy.
Did you try
So-
very easy?
Like, normal for me, and I have played stylish action hack and slash games before. I love El Shaddai. DMC Devil May Cry is one of the best feeling games I've ever played. I have reasons for this in a moment, but like, it just felt like a Dark Souls game for me.
Wow.
Woof.
Colby just had a heart attack all of a sudden. He's like, what?
Not in the feel, but in the like, oh my god, I just keep dying, and I just am struggling to get anything for healing.
See, I had the opposite problem where I wasn't really having any issues playing this game because I've played this one, I played the other ones, I played a couple fighting games, so it's not too hard. Like, I was struggling a little bit, but not really bad. I just kept dying to a bunch of the fucking environmental shit.
Well, the QTEs are also really bad, but that's another story.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
This game is
They are
time
implemented in a way where you don't kind of have to care about them. But yeah, they're really bad.
Oh, what were you going to say,
Like-
Ian?
I said this game is such a time capsule of that time period because like the dodging mechanic, that's just Batman from Arkham Asylum, you know, and just the character design,
About that.
the nonstop like sex. I mean, none of it I'm complaining about, but man, if you want a perfect example of everything that came about 3 years before that, there you go. I mean, it's all right there.
Also, it seems like someone turned the contrast like way down. Like, this game is so washed out and gray. It's such an Xbox 360 looking game. The art's so
Welcome to
cool. But
2009.
it's so washed out.
It's the perfect like midway point between the early part of the generation that was really Western focused with like Uncharted and everything, and then it was around this time that like the Japanese scene really kind of flourished with all of their really stylish and interesting games like Lollipop Chainsaw or Killer is Dead or insert 5 other games here.
Oh no,
Deadly Premonition.
I love that game. My
Wow,
favorite part about
You just named 3 games that I would much rather have played than Bayonetta.
You know, you volunteered to be on this.
I know.
Me too.
Well, I know.
And I also volunteered.
And I
I also volunteered.
had a fun time playing this when I originally played it in 2009. And I was like, oh, good. I get to be on a show where I don't hate whatever we're talking about. And then I started playing it and I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate what we're talking about.
We call that the Games My Mom Found effect, where you go back to an old game that you loved and go, oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hit me hard this time.
Like,
No,
I should have known, because I picked this up when it came to Wii U, like when Bayonetta 2 came out, and I played it for like the first couple stages, and I was like, you know, it's not really grabbing me, whatever. But you know, I have success with coming back, and it's like, oh wow.
Are these the people that made Metal Gear Rising?
Yes.
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 God, that
Yeah,
game
they're
sucked.
different
Another
team. but-
Another game that I would rather
really
play.
wanted to play, and I'd like to play that more than I wanted to play this, but I chose.
Well, that's on the
this.
show in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
It's a great
You guys,
game.
you guys are stomping on my like teenage childhood, and it's really hurting my fucking feelings.
No, don't
Were you
worry.
also a
I
sexy
got you.
woman
This
that
game's
danced around, Joe?
amazing.
In heels.
This game's
Look,
so much better than I remembered. I had the opposite experience. I played this on PS3, which, not the best way to play it, but now I'm replaying on PC and I'm like, oh, this game rocks. Like, all the references to past Kamiya games, all the way encounters are designed to teach you about specific mechanics or ideas, the way the weapons play off each other and with the dodge offset. Like, this game is so much better than I remembered. I think
This
it's
is a-
brilliant.
Turn your brain off game and just enjoy the blatant sex appeal and bullshit that's happening and just kill things.
And I got permission from Mike. That's what I talked about earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is the first definition where we got a game from Japan, and people were like, "Oh my god, there's a sexy lady and she's doing badass stuff," and it's like, that's right. This is probably the first iteration of someone serving cunt in a video game.
It's also a great topical thing to talk about with Stellar Blade coming out.
Oh yeah, it's not
yeah.
played out.
I think a demo.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it
it's
came out
out.
like this last week.
It came out yesterday.
Okay, so
But it's in the media that gamers who are cool hate the sexy action lady games, and the gamers that are bad love the section action lady games. And like, I guess I'm bad this week because like that should have no effect on me. I mean, I'm gay, so like whatever. But like, I get real upset with like a character that like aside from like her shtick does nothing. Like Bayonetta is just Bayonetta
yeah, I
the
mean,
entire time.
I loved it for that, but you are 100% right. It's very just maybe not stereotypical the right word, but it's just very much a one thing with nothing more, with nothing else to it.
You gotta appreciate that, though. I mean, sometimes that's all you need in something like that. Game's not claiming to be any more or less than it is. It's the surface. I mean, it's a witch with hair attack.
Yeah,
which
and
that's
it's
cool.
like,
I dig that.
yeah, and it is a character action game from the guy who invented character action games with like so much wild depth and so many strange mechanics and so many cool ideas. It just never lets up. And like, I don't know. I actually think when this game stops being that's when it kind of falters. Like, there are so many mini games and all these like amazing references to old Sega arcade games, which are so loving and also miserable to play.
Yes, the space area level was cool.
It gets worse.
Yeah, the Outrun level's cool, but they all just suck to play.
Those are references to. Oh, now I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
they're,
that.
they're references to different Sega arcade games, and
Good
they have
point.
music from the Sega arcade games. You have
Oh,
a remix of Last Wave, the Outrun Game Over screen, and like,
Your games had music. Huh.
yeah, it's like
Jesus
so
Christ, Mike.
Oh my!
it's so gorgeous, and those sequences suck so bad. But when you're fighting,
Elena
things,
Taylor didn't get canceled. We got to
Bayonetta's
listen
being
to her
Bayonetta,
voice.
It's great.
I listened to some. I had sound off and on this game, depending on. At some points, I'm like, I just don't need to hear anything. I'm tired of hearing shit.
Yes, Jennifer, the known voice of Bayonetta, to where she got kicked off of being Bayonetta and then also completely ruined her entire career in America, to which she referred to everyone as my favorite theme, which is her fans are called Bayonutters.
Okay,
What happened again? Was it like they got her kicked off?
She got replaced,
Oh, okay.
and she said it was because she wasn't getting accurate or enough like of a payment.
I mean, that's
I don't know if you had more to say.
Yeah, she got replaced because she said she wasn't getting paid enough. And as much as I'd hate to admit it, spoilers for Bayonetta 3 as much as whatever, they very much imply that they are going to kill that character off and bring in a new character. Into which I'm pretty sure that's what she was mad about it. But also, they ended up doing what's popular now, which is a multiversal thing. So the original idea was that the Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3 was not our Bayonetta from Bayonetta 1 and 2. And all this other goofy shit. And then she threw out some big number where she's like, oh yeah, Bayonetta's like a multi-million-dollar game. But the number she threw out, she basically just multiplied $60 times however many copies they sold. So she's also kind of goofy and fucking weird. Like, it's like sometimes some people are just kind of like thrown off.
Dude, I'm just looking her up on Wikipedia because I had no idea who this was.
Yeah, I think she's a transphobe too, so it's okay. It's whatever. No one gets shit anymore.
Okay. I mean, people should not go on the internet that much. Like, come on now. If you're gonna say crazy shit, don't do it on the internet.
But I mean, she was in a lot of important games. When you look at this, Metal Gear Solid, BioShock, Metroid.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's done a lot of games.
She's a British
she was
actor, I believe.
paid like the minimum union rates. Like there was that, and then EA came out and said like, "Hey, this shit is not all it appears to be," or something like that. Like he couldn't say much, but it was very much like there's more shit going on.
Bits and pieces of it.
I'm all for voice actors getting paid more than they do, but if she's a transphobe, then fuck her.
She was also getting paid the normal rate, so she was also just trying to like stir the pot, is what it was.
And maybe Rowling can hire her for something then.
Well, also, full offense to her, because it's probably one of something I just learned recently from watching. Go watch the making of stuff for these games because they're fucking goofy and funny as shit. She can't say she's the face of Bayonetta when the dancer who dances for this game is the actual face of Bayonetta. Because I shit you not, I watched the behind the scenes of one part. And the dancer that they basically put out a casting call for the dancers and we're like, hey, we need people to come out and whatever and blah, blah, blah. And the very last person showed up and she was late and she didn't study any of the material. And Kamiya and the rest of his team were like, it's whatever. You're late. It's cool. You never understand. Just read what the instructions are and, give us what you got. She did the iconic Bayonetta dance and Kamiya and like his producer were literally said they were so bewitched. They forgot about all the other dancers and went, you're hired.
This lady looks the exact opposite of Bayonetta.
Just want to have a quick correction here. Jennifer has been pretty outspoken in support of trans rights.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She just played a trans man in BioWare game, and that was pretty controversial. So I think that.
Okay. Then I take that back. She's just a general shitty person, not a super shitty person.
Okay.
I mean,
then I retract my fuck.
It's hard to know.
Yeah,
it's hard to know. One was that BioWare game, and what was the situation? That's a little bit harder to say. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, she was hired, but.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. You make
I'm not going to blame her for that.
That's what I judge you on too.
Yeah, no, so yeah, you can be a regular shitty person, but it takes a very special person to be a shitty person.
So Bayonetta, for those that don't know, as we kind of said a little bit, it's a character action game where plays a lot like a Devil May Cry. I mean, that you fight enemies, you go through, you earn medals, you earn score, you replay the game, and you lots of blood and gore, and it's awesome. That's kind of the gist. There's some. I mean, I just remember
there's a good amount. Yeah. You're like slicing angels in half and pulverizing people and tearing people in half.
Not people, they're angels.
Oh, angels are people.
Can we continue to talk about voice actors for just 1 second?
Sure.
Because when I was kind of reading up
Yuri
on
Lowenthal.
What the dude's name who voices Joe Pesci in the game, what his name is?
What?
Chick.
Yeah. The character or the voice actor?
The dude's name is Chick, and he actually has stood in for Joe Pesci on a number of situations.
Chick Venera. Yes.
Something like that.
Okay, interesting. He just died in 2021.
Oh, he did?
Oh, that actor?
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He did fine. I mean, I didn't think about it. The guy did sound a lot like Joe Pesci.
He did sound a lot like Joe Pesci. He's implied to be like ancestor of Dante's arms dealer from Devil May Cry, right? Like him and Luca are like him. Like they have the same last names and are kind of implied to be ancestors of those characters.
What is Luca's last
name? Is that like a twin situation?
Redgrave.
Oh no, that's just a reference. They everything kind of has its own like references to other games and goofy shit. Mainly because I say that because Luca from this game is also the Luca in Wonderful 101.
Oh, is he?
Yes,
that's cool. But that's the kid, right?
Yeah, that's the kid. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
a lot of Platinum games kind of connect, don't they? A little bit when they can.
Yeah, and Kamiya's games. Like I just noticed a reference that made me very happy earlier. Where like in level 2, you're running from a bunch of lava, and you have to try and get enough combo points on these mini bosses because you don't have time to necessarily kill a mini boss. And then they just like do the same thing again later, and she starts surfing on an angel like Dante and Devil May Cry 3, and makes a Beautiful Joe reference. And it's just like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. There's a real love of the genre here.
I would love to see the connection there is between Metal Gear Rising and Star Fox Zero, since all the games connect or whatever.
Can we go back to the voice actress thing? This says Helena Taylor was the original voice actress for Bayonetta.
Yeah,
and was replaced by Jennifer Hale.
I think she's.
That's what we were talking about.
I think she's the voice
Is that what we
actor.
said?
No, I think either Bayonetta had an original voice actor for the trailer, like other games usually do, or you
It
might be
says
looking at.
Helena Taylor was the voice actress for Bayonetta in previous games, was replaced by Jennifer Hale for 3.
It's the other way
Yeah.
around.
No,
No,
sure.
no.
Helena Taylor was
It was Helena
Bayonetta
Taylor,
for
and she is
1
an
and
outspoken
2.
transphobe.
There we go. Helena Taylor is the one who I'm thinking of. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm completely
Yep.
sorry about that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Helena Taylor voices her in this game.
Yeah, Helena Taylor is
Yes.
it's just the big British star. She's the one that was saying Bayonetters, and she went on like Twitter and TikTok and was like telling people they didn't pay her enough money and shit like that. That's what I'm so sorry.
Oh, so we just beseech the wrong person.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was talking about the right person. I think Joe just mixed it up after I started talking about him.
Yeah, my bad. I'm so sorry.
Jennifer
all
Hale
Joe.
from Mass Effect. And okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Jennifer Hale was Commander Shepard. I mean, come on.
Oh,
and Rivet from the new Ratchet game.
And Samus in Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
Jennifer Hale. Great.
But
sorry, Jennifer Hale, if you listen to this,
But
which I know
yes.
you won't. You sorry.
anyway, Bayonetta. So let's get into it a little bit here because I want to talk about my main problem with this, and this is maybe because I played on easy and normal, is that I really don't feel like the attacks are like as tight as I would like them to be. I don't feel like I have a good grasp on what I am doing.
Mhm.
And like even like I was thinking about when we played the Night Before Christmas PS2 game, which is a DMC ripoff, and that's not a great game. I have a lot of problems with that game. But the one thing that game made very clear for me is what my attacks do, what range I have, and what the damage is. Like I know what I'm doing with Jack Skellington when I'm playing that game. To not know what I'm doing is Bayonetta for the entire game. Like it's partially on me, I'm sure, but like I just don't understand how complex this has to be.
Well, there are clear indications of the moves you want to be doing with the Wicked Weaves. Like those are the attacks you want to land during which time, and you have that training mode. But
Sure.
I agree that there's like too many moves. Like Devil May Cry, each weapon has 4 or 5 moves. They're all just like one combo branch, and you know exactly what they're all for. And yeah, you kind of just have a lot of moves in this, and sort of have to experiment in the little training mode they give you in the loading screens.
But like
Yeah.
the timing is weird, I feel like, and like it just is a lot harder to nail it down.
Yeah, that was sort of my main problem with the whole thing, was that everything was just too much. Like all of your attacks are too much, the special attacks are too much, all the enemies are too much, the platforming is too much. Like when everything is a spectacle, then nothing is a spectacle. Like if they wanted to make spectacles, they had to have had like normal levels and then have a spectacle at the end or something. But instead, everything is like happening all the time, and everything that you do has to be like so extra that nothing felt cool when I was doing it, because it was all just the normal thing that I was doing. Does that make sense?
it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of add 11 too much.
Everything with the game is over the top. Every move you do. I mean, you are right. Like there were times where I could do the torture thing, which I wouldn't. Sometimes like I don't want to do this because I don't feel like tapping X. I don't feel like watching this animation again. I'd rather just kill him quickly.
Yeah.
It's a little irritating.
Yeah.
And
That
that's
was one I
that's-
always did though.
and that's your main use of magic in a first playthrough.
You have
Like,
there's a magic meter.
Yeah, there's a magic meter.
Oh.
Yeah, you do the
There
torture
is-
attack when you
it's
have
a
a full bar of your magic meter.
Oh yeah.
It's those little gems that are.
I was wondering what those did. Like I would do the attacks when they pop. I would just a button prompt up and said press A and B, or not A and B, Y and B. I'm like, all right, I'll press Y and B. I didn't know what I was
Yeah,
doing.
you get magic by landing attacks, especially Wicked Weaves, which I think give you 2. And then perfect dodges also give you 2. So kind of the more smoothly you're playing, the more you're using the dodge offset and Wicked Weaves properly, the faster you're building magic. And you get a lot of moves to use that magic. You get like the heel stomp and the what's the punch one called? The Umbran Spear. No, I think that's something else. But you can have instant Wicked Weaves for magic, in case you don't want to try and offset and get the dodges in at the right time. Like, I think the game gets better the more you play it and the more stuff you get. And I do think that the basic stuff is sort of poorly communicated a lot of the time. and sort of irritating before they're fully formed. Like I think a lot of character action games do. They're really complex games that really ask a lot of you. Like you're getting these new moves and you have to go out of your way to use them, or else it's like kind of mushy. And I think this is one of the mushiest games if you're not paying attention to that stuff. I think it's very easy, like a Sonic game almost, to just skirt on top.
I mean, that's all I did. I just pressed YB and a couple different combos, and I just watched stuff happen and had fun.
That's cool that you're able to do that.
I'm glad you had fun with that. Like that was the problem. Was that was like for me, I'm just getting through it. Like there was not much enjoyment of me just hitting Y and X or whatever.
You know what parts of the
had more fun than I expected. I don't know. I don't play a lot.
The fun I had
games.
was when
I
was when the game broke itself and like did the Space Harrier and Outrun stuff because that was something different and cool.
That annoyed me.
I guess it's how much you're keyed into that basic combat, because that's definitely where most of the complexity is going to be.
You know what my favorite parts of the game are, and I'm always a definition slut for stuff in games because it goes through my other games too. I'm a big fan of the rivalry trope where there's a very much a reoccurring character you fight, and then they either teach you new movesets or they get stronger while you do. And this game, doubles down on that, especially because you technically don't get Jean's name until I think her third fight, where she actually takes off her coat and reveals she has white hair all over her body. I guess is the right term for it.
Oh yeah, because she's a witch just like you. So.
Yeah, and you see her in that cold open where you're on the plummeting church with the narration going, and then you see her in flashbacks, and occasionally she'll show up for tutorials. She's so well developed. She's such a cool
she has a better character arc than Bayonetta.
She does. She's more central.
I mean, Bayonetta has the arc of she lost her memory. Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, we've never seen that before in anything. Jesus Christ.
Past.
It's fine.
We get more from Cereza, which, obviously, knowing that there's a Bayonetta Origins game with Cereza in the name, I understand who Cereza is when she's introduced. But
I hear that game is really good. I'm gonna play that game
together.
But Cereza being technically a separate character, it informs more of who a Bayonetta is. But you get one version of her and then a completely different version of her, and you can't even really see how they relate to each other.
I don't know. Would you be able to relate with a 3-year-old version of yourself?
It's her?
See how you can go from A to B. Yeah.
I thought it was her daughter. I thought she got pregnant Kill Bill style while she was sleeping.
No, it's
no.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't think that happened, but in Kill Bill, there's a really bad scene where the guy, but that's what I was thinking.
I like how the C word was okay, but rape is not.
Oh, well, I didn't say either word, so that's fine. But yes.
Kill Bill's
no. Cereza is Bayonetta, and Bayonetta is the product of Sage and a witch having,
relations,
funky,
having sex,
funky love out of time or something, and
the Romeo and Juliet story that we never got.
I did not realize that Cereza was Bayonetta. I thought it was Bayonetta had a kid. I really thought that's what it was, but she lost her memory.
The final boss explains that he took her out of time or whatever.
Yeah, that long lore dump.
Yeah, I think I just stopped paying attention to hit A. That's I was I'm gonna watch a recapitation of this afterwards. I didn't.
That guy also sucks, which is unfortunate.
He really sucks. I guess the point is he has all this destiny and history and stuff, and Bayonetta doesn't care, but then Bayonetta loses, and then you're Jean helping her after you have this big moment where she has her big one-liner where she shoots them and says, "Don't fuck like a witch," and then misses or whatever. I'm just I don't know. The last half hour of this game is a garbage fire, but not as bad if you skip cutscenes.
I will
watched them all. I just didn't pay attention.
I used to play on easy. Playing as John was cool because it was something else.
I hate when they do that. I don't want to play as somebody else. You've had me play as this person for 10 hours. I don't want to play as anybody else. Just do a crappy cutscene or something. They do that crap in Final Fantasy 14 all the time. I don't want it there. I don't want it here. It's not fun.
Weirder in Final Fantasy 14 because it's
You mean 15 or 16?
14.
I think they do it in 14, yeah.
Oh, 14's MMO though.
The MMO
14 is an MMO. Isn't that weird that they do that?
What the fuck? I thought you had the number wrong. Wow. Okay.
Okay, I learned something new today.
Mine.
I like when games establish a pattern and then break pattern, because to do the pattern over and over eventually becomes rote and boring.
Fair. I mean, this game never got boring to me.
Yeah, I will argue the very last half, the last part of this game is very anime, And basically, like I said, it ticks all of my favorite things that like you fight in space, you fight your evil dad, she said the one F word in the entire game, and then you guide the bullet to shoot him in the head.
Wait, that was her dad?
Oh my God, Mike! God damn it, Mike!
Yeah.
So I just want to hit for me. This game was kill angels, kill. Oh, look, climax. That's funny. Okay, let's see what cool moves she does. That was the game for me.
I mean, to Mike's credit, there is a lot of lore in this game, and it is incomprehensible.
That is
you get so many books. You can read so much into the lore. Some of it's kind of neat.
One of those books.
I'm guessing that was written by Luca's father, but I wasn't ever sure.
I think that's the implication. I don't remember.
Tell me Lucas is somehow her brother.
No, it's worse than that,
only in Game of Thrones land.
That kind of lore shit is usually like right up my alley, but like I think I read like 2 of those things and I was like, I never need to read another one of these things again. This is so fucking stupid. Like everything in this game is so fucking stupid.
You like your lore to be a description
basic thing.
Item.
They're not doing anything new or interesting to develop lore. They're just establishing what the basic thing you're doing is. Like, what is Vigrid?
This game was 2009, though.
There's some neat ideas.
Wait, you can get a so that actually I'm watching this. Okay, this is one of the times where I played a game wrong, which has been a joke that I know Richard Sampson's listening. Who's going to listen to this is getting his meme ready for me. I know what meme he's going to put in the Discord too. Challenge, Richard. Join our Discord, please. Link in the show notes. But it's like I'm watching speedrun to get back to what I was saying, and she has a sword. I bought said sword, but I never knew how to use it.
The equipping wheel.
Do you mean how to equip it or how to like use it?
Equip it. I didn't even know. I was like, that's weird. I bought these weapons, but they don't do anything. Oh well.
Okay, hold on. I need everyone to stop real quick. Okay, Mike, I'm about to fucking blow your mind out. You can hit the select button and you can change weapons because you have a sword, a whip, shotguns. There's also a crafting system where you can craft lollipops to.
I found that on the final boss.
Yeah, and you use the right stick to stir the cauldron. It's cute.
I figured all that out in the final boss fight because I'm like, I'm going to need more health, so I'm going to beat this guy. And I'm like, look, I can make items.
I knew there was crafting material. I never. Oh my god. I also played it wrong on that, which is also why
Dominic, we'll both be on that dragon side then. Awesome.
All
I found was the button to switch, like what type of pistols you have.
Same, the A/B thing.
Yeah, you can equip any weapons you want there. Do we want to talk a bit about like the weapons and the flow of combat because
I only use one weapon apparently, so.
Well, tell me about it because I clearly didn't experience it the right way.
There's guns, shotguns, a katana, some ice skates, which are also fucking awesome to use. And then the one I usually miss because I missed the first time and I tried to get it the second time and I couldn't. There's also a bazookas you can put on your hands and feet. And you can also buy backup weapons so you can dual wield certain weapons as well.
Yeah, and there's also a whip and claws.
There's whip and claws too, yeah.
Yep.
So the moves you have are kind of similar between weapons, which I like because you can equip a lot of them either to your hands or your feet. And, you use both in combos and they tend to lead to the same wicked weaves. But Bayonetta's like core concept is called the dodge offset, where if you hold the attack button mid-combo, Bayonetta will kind of hold on that attack and it'll hold your place in the combo. And every weapon will do a different thing. So guns will like shoot, the katana will charge a slash, the claws will drop a bomb. But during that animation, you can dodge and then continue your combo. So that's how you like can dodge and get into witch time, which is if you dodge an attack with perfect timing, time will slow down for 2 or 3 seconds and it'll multiply the amount of points and damage you do. So you can you really have to do this on the first fight with Jean in hard mode, like do a few attacks, dodge, and then get the real damage dealing attacks in the small moment she's vulnerable, which you would not be able to do from neutral. So kind of the more you plan ahead and the more you know how you're using weapons and how all the enemy types interact, the better you score, the cooler you look. I think it's really neat, and it really does take some getting used to. Like, I don't think I figured it out my first playthrough.
At least somebody played it right, unlike myself. So.
Well, this is also my third playthrough.
They could design the game better, and instead of doing a flashy cold open where you don't know what's going on, they could just do some of that.
Well, yeah, you really kind of have to go out of your way to appreciate and understand the combat, which is something I like. Like I love Devil May Cry and stuff, but
I do too.
I think Platinum games are pretty bad at teaching you how to play them.
No, I'll agree. This game did not teach me how to play. I mean, I just figured out buttons and I had fun with it, but I was also playing on easy. I mean, there's very easy, which is like story difficulty, which is I'm happy it exists for people that want to experience it who are very bad at these games, like myself usually. I mean, easy was pretty damn easy too, so except for the final boss fight. But I'm always happy when games give you more difficulty options and more ways for people to experience that game.
And this definitely is a game that like you can totally move down to lower difficulty, mash buttons, see a bunch of angels get torn apart, ridiculous set pieces, and I like that that's an option too. And I'm glad to hear the easier difficulties kind of let that happen.
My favorite is still when you fight the female-looking angels, and I actually got this reference, when you grab them with a chain, and she pulls them onto a freaking sawhorse type thing, except the torture version of it, not the version I've seen before. And it was like, all right, that's not what I expected in my video game, but I'll take it.
You say that's a reference to something?
It is. I'm not going to go there, but it is, yes.
Princess Bride?
No. We're just
What's it a reference to?
A BDSM
What,
thing.
can you put it in the chat?
Oh, okay.
That's an actual BDS thing.
Okay.
It's called a sawhorse thing.
Okay, that I thought you meant like another piece of music.
No, I meant sexy things is what I meant. So,
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, so, I mean, I'm surprised there's no St. Andrew's Cross in this game then, I guess.
Me too. I mean, they don't do anything else, but it's just like, that's what it reminded me of. I know it's an I mean, I'm assuming those are all actual like torture devices, and maybe in history, I wouldn't be surprised. I know like the God, I forget the one with the spikes in it where you put the guy inside.
Yeah.
Coffin.
Yeah.
I mean, this
like,
game is
kicking
very
the wheel.
biblical, right? So, like,
It
all
is.
that stuff kind of makes sense.
It does.
BDSM ties back into Christianity very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of references to Dante. Like you have Italian names for all these places, like Dante's Commedia, which also Devil May Cry had a ton of references to. Another callback.
Did any of you guys play Dante's Inferno?
I did play Dante's. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
I
all
own
right.
it.
Yeah.
I own
It was
multiple
just another
copies
one
of it. Never
You
touched
do.
it.
The one
It's a weird
DMC
game
game
that always
I actually
more
really
than
like
one
playing
copy
was the Ninja Theory one.
It's a cool game.
It was very good. That was that one and Metal Gear Rising. That was the only two times I've ever had to dial back the difficulty on the final boss.
Metal Gear Rising. I had to do that with God of War.
I had to do that with Wolfenstein too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Wolfenstein 2 was fucking rough at
really
the
hard.
end.
Oh, that weird hall that you were in.
Speaking of that, I have issues with that British Devil May Cry, but I think it does some smart things really informed by Bayonetta. Like
DMC?
yeah, like the
Yeah.
DMC Devil May Cry, like specifically how it deals with secrets. Did anyone else kind of go for scoring in this game or that game?
No.
So
I mean, I feel like that game really taught me how to play it, I guess, is the thing.
yeah, it really does. But also how it deals with secrets. So
Yes.
in Bayonetta, you are scored on every secret mission in the level. Like in Devil May Cry, secret missions are kind of they're other missions, and you get collectibles from
Right.
it. And here, I think the secret missions are neat. I think that's where they kind of teach you how to play because they're challenges. Like here, figure out how to do this with the mechanics. But because they're scored as part of the level, if you're trying to get like a pure platinum score, you're going to have to like memorize the locations of and do all the secret missions and collectibles and stuff. While DMC Devil May Cry just if you've done it on that save file, it gives you points for it, which I think is a really smart way around that problem.
Is this why I was missing some encounters throughout the levels?
Yes.
Yeah, there are both the secret missions and a lot of times you'll like backtrack or go to a little corner and there will be secret encounters.
I was wondering why I would have like blank metal sometimes. I'm like, I thought I killed everybody. That makes sense.
There's one that's super missable that I believe there's like a hallway full of a bunch of fans that are like blowing you around. You have to like witch weave dodge out of the way, and the portal only shows up while you're slowed down in time.
Sure.
That's a tight secret. I have not pure platinumed this whole game, but like there's something fun about, if I want to score, I'll like find more things about this level, but also some are so obscure I end up running back through the level after every fight until I just look it up online.
I like obscurity. I like having those secrets, but I feel like a game kind of has to clue you in a little bit that these things are possible. I never felt like in Bayonetta that like these things were actually possible or happening.
Well, they
Like,
do. They do tell you approximately where they are and like how many encounters there are.
Yeah, but some of them feel like it more feels like, I'm just missing that encounter. I just didn't trigger it.
I feel like part of that has to do a lot with also like, which it sounds funny, but I feel like what it is, it's 360 era stuff where like you tell your friends on the schoolyard or your friends at work like goofy shit that you can do in the game, and they go, I didn't know that. Can you try this? Like, given the idea I guess I can go off the top of my head, Bioshock. There's some people who still don't know that you can electrocute enemies in the water and stuff like that, even though I think the game does tell you
The
that.
game
doesn't
tells
it?
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like the first tutorial in
Yeah.
Bioshock.
But still, it's like, oh, you can do this, and that's neat. Like I remember seeing screenshots of that before I first played Bioshock. So yeah,
Well,
that's
Like you just try
that's
it anyway.
the most irritating thing for me about how these levels are constructed. But I think those
I can see
encounters
that.
are cool. Like I think there's like a real playfulness to all of how these encounters are made. Like I think the very first encounter after the prologue, you get a key to a door and you jump up on the side of the pit and oh, there's a little encounter where angels attack you and you attack and you just immediately cut them in half with the key. Like that's so unexpected and funny and cool.
I like the angel designs. I like how they do vary a little bit. And I don't know. I play a lot of games for this podcast, obviously. But for like this one, I just wasn't, as I said before, I wasn't bored. Like it was just enough to keep me going, even though I wasn't taking full advantage of the action the way I should have been. I was just having fun enough just playing the game as it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the hell was going on with the story, and I didn't care.
Yeah, I think this is one of the very few games where I was playing it and I'm like, man, I wish this was just like an anime or something. Like I would love to watch this, but it's so repetitive and boring to play it. Like it looks cool, and if we were like, if I was just like taking it in rather than worrying about pressing, the 2 buttons that I had to press while I was playing it, I would have had a much better time with it. But as it is, man, and I think that Dark Souls has ruined me for combat. So now, like, this mashy combat is just like, it's like it's torturing me to do this boring ass combat.
Yes, Mike, there is a Devil May Cry anime.
Bayonetta anime.
Yeah, there's also Devil May Cry anime, but there's also
Yeah.
Bayonetta anime. Yeah.
I've seen the Devil May Cry one.
I have too, I think. Or I've seen the cover.
Like
I've seen that it exists.
I'm going back to like another game that I really like. That's another game like this is Bujingai: The Forsaken City, and it's a obscure PS2 game that has really cool combat that is very similar in that it's very simple and you press the 2 buttons over and over and over. But the way those like encounters unfold are really interesting because a lot of it is like you're pushing and pulling. It's like you're countering each other so much that you gotta like find your moments to actually get it and make your hit, and it turns into like a really interesting game of like who can make the other one break first. And I don't feel like there was any nuance to the combat in that way. Like obviously I didn't do the other weapons, so that's a big blindside for me, but it just feels like it's kind of okay, press X and Y and you'll take down their HP bar and you'll shoot them, and there's no real like, I didn't even feel like juggling or anything was super important.
No, but like the dodges and offsets are. That's where I get that. Juggles are useful sometimes.
This is one of those great games where it's like those juggles can end up in like 200 or 300 hit combos, as opposed to Dark Souls where it ends up in you probably dying. But man, it's just another hallmark of that time.
The juggles themselves actually took me like a bit to get used to the input of, and it just like clicked this morning. The training menu says there's a pause, but I think it's like if it's not on the first frame of the attack, and you have a big buffer. So like if you enter the command while the other attack is happening, you'll do the non-pause attack. And if you do it as it's happening, like after the active frames, you use the launcher. Like there's a lot of nuance in the combo system, which I like. And I think there's a real polish to it. But you kind of have to go out of your way to figure out how that works.
It's retraining your brain then, I guess.
It's also nice that you don't have to. Like you can just enjoy the game and be fine that way too, which was nice.
But I didn't. Is the problem.
Well, no, and that's fair. I mean, completely fair. I was surprised that I just had fun with this. I mean, also another thing we haven't talked about yet, like it's only really for movement, but you can turn into a panther in this game and run faster, which I love. Yeah, I did the crow like once or twice. I'm like, this is dumb, but the panther I used a lot.
Yeah, I used the panther a lot more than the crow. I bet there are cool uses for the crow, but I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, it couldn't fly higher from wherever the highest I jumped. I couldn't go really much more. I'm like, well, this ain't useful.
That's just a hover.
Not for what I wanted to do. I wanted to use it to get places that I couldn't get to.
I just feel like if the game slowed down a bit and just like took its time with some of these things, it would just click so much faster.
Did you play the second one?
Well, that's what I want to do, kind of knowing all of this now.
The
See if it
second one
actually
really
works.
kind of like hits a really great stride where it does everything you kind of want to, and then more. It's very good.
Yep.
I really thought 2 worked better for a first playthrough than 1 did, for sure.
And the third one's good all the way up until after you beat the final boss, and then that ending ruins the entire franchise.
I've heard. I want to try it.
I am curious to play Bayonetta 2 and 3. I own Bayonetta 2 on Wii U. The chance of me actually pulling out my Wii U to play it, slim to none, but I'm curious.
I have played 1 and 2 on a Wii U gamepad. That dodge feels amazing on those triggers. It just feels really nice.
It's just that
that's so interesting because it didn't feel good to me at all. But I was playing on normal, which somebody said that feels bad on normal.
Well, the enemies are kind of halting and like don't attack you as aggressively on normal, and it's sort of awkward. Like you're kind of waiting for them. I get the same thing with Devil May Cry 3.
So I have a few story questions. When do you find out that the girl is actually her?
At the ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that the priest was the father. Is the priest the father?
I think he's Bayonetta's
You mean
father.
the sage?
The Lumen
The
Sage?
weird guy that I
Father?
put a bullet in his head.
Yeah,
The
that's
weird
bad.
sage is her dad.
That's your father.
Okay, but I guess
So yes, also Cerese's father.
Okay. I listened to I was like, I remember reading that. I was like, I thought paying attention to it. And then I know the God came because when you kill him, they're like, Julius, bless your soul. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill God here shortly.
Yeah, and Bayonetta summons Dante's enemies from Devil May Cry 1.
Kind of what it looked like.
I saw that in 3. I saw like she summoned Scorpion and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I gotta try this, and then never did because the reception was so poor.
You know, Bayonetta 1, she very much summons, besides, I think, the big dragon head, and then her main big Madam Butterfly summon. I believe the big bird and then the big spider are references to the bird and spider you fight in Devil May Cry 1.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Griffin and Scorpion.
Yeah.
I know I bought this game on 360 back in 2010 or 2011. Because I have a copy near me, but I just never got around to it. And I'm also kind of glad I did because had my the roommate I lived with, she would not have liked this game if I would have played it in front of her. She was very anti stuff like this. So I'm like, I would have heard about it.
I mean, it's not that bad.
No, it's not. But she didn't like any of that stuff. It just would irritate her. But it's just
It
what
was
it'd be.
controversial.
I get it.
Yeah. I also get why so
her
many people
parents are
find
close.
Bayonetta like so cool and empowering. Like I definitely understand both sides.
No, like what Dominic had said before the show, and he said during the show, like, she really doesn't have a whole lot more other than her sex appeal, and that's kind of what the character is, at least in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it worked because I apparently wasn't even paying attention to the story at all. I was just killing things and just having fun. So, but I get it. Like, this game doesn't have a lot of depth.
Some of the lore
But it
seems
does.
really neat. It's like,
I mean,
she has to kill
yeah,
one
you're right.
angel a day or she'll be dragged to hell.
Also, that's what that was about?
Yeah. There is really interesting deep lore. It's just packaged in a way that there's trying to be like an 80s action film kind of pacing because that's quote unquote cool.
Yeah, and there's even this implication that like her sexuality is like how she's expressing her witch powers, and it becomes this whole like weird neo-feminist thing, and that's neat, and it's so hidden and confusing.
I didn't realize that either. It makes sense though. I mean, because she's pretty much like, with her hair, she strips naked. Just to,
yeah.
It's very close to
her
nudity.
clothes is also her hair.
Yeah,
That was an
that.
interesting thing where your attacks, the stronger your attack, the more lose. Like a vulnerability thing. I don't know. Not that deep, but I thought that was interesting.
That also completely reminds me too. Speaking of game mechanics, Dominic, you said you played this on the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
Did you use any of the fun Nintendo costumes?
Oh yeah,
I looked at them, but I didn't really like how they looked.
It's okay. They offer weird, goofy shit. What is it? The Princess Peach and Daisy outfits summon Bowser's arms and legs.
Yeah.
Whenever you wear the Samus outfit, the visor actually goes down during battle mode and stuff like that. And I believe the Link outfit, the shield actually works as a shield. So if enemies attack her from behind, it actually works as a parry.
And the shield also like starts you equipped with the moon, which is the last like treasure you get.
I should have like looked into it more because I kind of didn't believe it when I read it. Like I just like that doesn't seem like this game. What are you talking about?
Well, you had to
That's
cover
fair.
you had to cover the Naughty No-No bits for the Nintendo. A Nintendo version also has, I think it's called like Little Angels mode. They introduce it in Bayonetta 2, where you can take out where her hair goes away whenever she does heavy attacks or the final attacks or whatever.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely understand why someone would
too.
want that to be there.
It's a fun comparison to the recent story about Nintendo not letting them put costumes in Fortnite because they wanted it to be Switch exclusive.
Yeah.
Which is just Nintendo being Nintendo.
Nintendo can fucking suck it.
That's
I hate
not
them so
cool.
much.
That's not cool, but they are okay with putting in Bayonetta, which I really appreciate. Which is really stupid but fun.
As long as they have
Just 'cause-
exclusive costumes if you play on their systems. The PC version came out after that. It doesn't have those.
But
But I think
Bayonetta
that's 'cause
2 is
Bayonetta was only on Nintendo.
only the first one's on everything else.
Yeah. But they add the costumes to Bayonetta 1 for the Wii U and Switch versions, and they're
Yeah,
not
but
on the PC
I'm
version.
upset that I can't buy Bayonetta 2 without. I mean, I have it, but I want to play it on my Steam Deck, and I probably could.
Yeah,
And Nintendo is the
I'd
reason
rather have
Bayonetta
that.
2 exists.
I know, but still,
And 3.
Yeah,
Put 'em on
I
a
get the
system.
business thing, but that's
Yeah.
why I haven't finished Bayonetta 2.
If you want to, I think there's a way to where if you buy, there's like not a special edition, but I think there is an edition of Bayonetta 3 where if you buy it, it comes with Bayonetta 2 for free on the Switch.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you can get
Okay.
Bayonetta 2 running on your Steam Deck, Mike.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I know I could.
think
Okay.
that, Nintendo was so struggling during the Wii U days. They just went to people and were like, "What do you got? What can we publish?" And we got Bayonetta 2 and Devil's Third.
Yeah, they said we'll publish any old garbage, and then that's when they got Bayonetta 2.
Is Devil's Third like interesting? Like Itagiki's made some of my favorite games, but he just like disappeared and always seemed like kind of a creep.
the story's good.
I've never met anyone
It's
who's played that.
interesting. It's interesting from the perspective of this game probably should have been canceled, but wasn't.
And I'm playing Bayonetta while we do this, just to get ideas to come up. And I just got to the point where like the moon comes out and you're climbing on the wall of the little lens and you jump through the hall and dive kick and the little you kick the little cherubs as you go to the wall and then it moves you right into combat. This game has such style. There's like such a joy to it.
They-
I lied.
Look,
I
Game
don't
has
own this
style
one.
that's really good. El Shaddai.
Yes, El Shaddai rules. I saw someone, was it you, post is getting a remaster?
Yeah, another remaster.
It's on Switch, yeah.
Yeah,
And that
another
you can buy
biblical
this on
themed
Steam.
Another biblical
Yes, you can.
themed game based on the Book of Enoch. That game rules.
But it's related to the whole Clover Studio Bayonetta Devil May Cry thing because it's directed by Sawaki Takeyasu, who was the character designer from Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay.
And so he went and made his because he also worked on Okami, and then when that whole thing happened, he went and made his own studio, Crim.
Yeah, and all that other goofy stuff too. Along with that, this game has so many weird fucking Easter eggs that it's honestly just a handful. Such as the rings you collect are confirmed to be the rings from Sonic. They are, I think,
So they are.
they're burying Robotnik in the beginning because they refer to him as Eggman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sad.
Whenever Bayonetta catches Luca, he's wearing Okami face paint, but then he mentions Claire from Resident Evil, Trish from Beautiful Joe, and then apparently he fucks a dog because he names him Amaterasu.
I mean,
and then the Rodan
It's not a
mentions
dog.
the Resident Evil 4 merchant.
Okay, I did not catch any of these.
Rodan
Yeah.
heard from a game once. What are you buying?
This game is densely like intertextual. So many references.
And I think Ian mentioned it earlier, but thank you, Ian, for reminding me that fucking goddamn Luca's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Because goddamn, do I forget that guy's in everything nowadays
He is
and
in
back
everything.
then.
Oh yeah. If you're using the Panther little skull flowers spread up behind you, that's also an Okami reference.
Oh, I should really play Okami one day.
It's
So
neat.
should I?
I would say maybe next year, but I've been saying that a few too many times. I need to stop saying that. So
Well,
Okami's-
Okami is too long.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Okami's really cool, but it's like twice as long as it needs to be.
How about we do Okami, but like do different 3 episodes for the 3 different acts, like months apart? I think that's the best way to play that game. Legit.
33 and a half
It's only
hours.
done one part 2.
that's a long game.
Yeah, they could have made that game 10 hours and it would have been perfect. But
There's a point where I thought it was. I mean, I kind of intellectually knew there was like more stuff on the UI, but it felt like an ending, and I was like, "Oh man, that was a great game." And then it just kept going, and I'm like,
It
"This
keeps
game's
going.
still good, but I don't
Yep.
want to play it anymore."
Bayonetta felt like that too for me. It's like when you kill the priest, I'm like, okay, the game's gonna be over. No, when you kill the god, I thought the game was over. Then you have a whole nother like chapter where you play as the other witch.
John.
Yeah, whatever her name was. Did she?
That
No,
was
she
thankfully
survived.
short.
Okay, but yeah, that was. I mean, I did like some like you have like a weird level where I think you're on a car or a motorcycle or something, right? You're on a motorcycle.
Yes.
You have a level
Yeah,
where like the
team
space
play.
carrier thing. You guys talk more.
That
You're on a
was
rocket. For some reason. I didn't like it, but I appreciated that they were doing something different and trying to mix the gameplay up and give you a different experience here and there. I also beat this game in like 3 days of playing it. It went by really fast.
And I'm also going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it. And I know two people. Hopefully, everyone here agrees with me. Mike Albertin. I need to get you to watch JoJo because this thing also consists of several JoJo references.
Have you not watched JoJo, Mike?
No.
You should watch JoJo. It's good.
Hey,
I've
Mike,
never seen JoJo, so
watch JoJo.
Right, Colby? Did you catch the JoJo references?
No, because I'm only into season 2.
I thought you started season 3 already.
Well, I mean, I'm in Stardust Crusaders.
That's season
but
2, yeah. But
I'm only allowed to watch 2 episodes at a time because I'm doing it for a podcast. So
Yeah, but
I'm
but yeah,
not watching it nearly as fast as I would like to.
how many episodes are you in, though?
2.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, then.
You understand the concept of stands, though. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
No, JoJo is on my list of things I probably should someday pay attention to.
Put it on the
Think you
top
dig
of
it.
that list, Michael.
Persona,
I just think you dig it.
I probably would. I don't watch a lot of anime though.
Persona's a big fucking JoJo reference.
Mhm.
This has stands like in JoJo. They even do the ora. When
Everyone
John and
does the aura. It's amazing how much you see the aura once you know what it's from. It's just everywhere.
yes,
Another game that this game reminded me of was Ashura's Wrath, also in 360.
oh,
Yeah,
that game's
good
so
game.
good.
Unfortunately, the only way to
I was
play
going
it.
to say a different game this reminds me of.
Yes.
Yeah, the only way to play it's on 360 PS3.
Yeah, which sucks.
But this game reminds me of
What?
Of who?
Catherine.
What?
Catherine.
How?
How?
Playing at the
Yeah.
arcade.
I'm with Colby.
It's
Catherine's
the
a
other
puzzle
game
game.
from that era with like but it's the other game from the era with like the big sex appeal.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I don't know,
Sega
did
was
you play,
briefly
like-
involved in it.
Ninja Gaiden 2?
No.
Me either, but I know it.
Those games are
That
also
was
hard.
makes all these women look like they're, wearing Mormon undergarments to the beach.
Ninja Gaiden. If the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2 is a Dead or Alive game,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't that
Okay, that makes
have
sense.
it's that same universe. It's that same Ryu.
Yeah, but it's everything like all this kind of wanted. This is what they were trying to be Ninja Gaiden, I think, with like a lot of this stuff between Bayonetta and Dark Souls and all this other stuff. That original Ninja Gaiden, as far as I'm concerned, is the benchmark for all this, and people have yet to back to that point 20 years later.
I love these games, and it's definitely one of the main pillars. Like I think that game is phenomenal.
It was so good.
Bayonetta has always been on my list to
Oh.
play because other people. It's just one of those games. Like this game, like that's why we're talking about it because I've always wanted to experience it because of so many other style games that I really like.
Same. I like other style games, so I was like, I had to do this at some point.
And it's
I
short.
It's just
just
really-
really like this designer. This Kamiya did Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, and Soul Cresta. Did I get all of them?
But he did
Uh,
Resident Evil 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
The original.
He was
That-
like what's the guy who directed Resident Evil? What's his name?
Shinji Mikami.
Shinji Mikami. Yeah, he was kind of like Shinji Mikami's protege, and they left together to make Platinum Games. And
He did
So
also
he was-
make Okami.
oh right, and Okami. That feels like such the outlier, like all those other games feel like, oh, these arcade style action games that like kind of bridge console and arcade sensibilities, and then Okami is this fucking 80-hour Zelda clone. It's cooler than I make it sound, but still, I always forget that.
Isn't Hideki Kamiya? Didn't he stop making games because of Bayonetta 3?
Well, he retired.
No, he
Or he stopped.
he left Platinum.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably to be an indie dev, but he's currently under like a non-competitors agreement with Platinum, so he's just like, I'm going on vacation.
I
And
just
you-
remember-
And Shinji Mikami left Tango, so
Oh, I just remember him posting a picture of his gross fucking gnarly underwear on Twitter.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, Hideki Kamiya, whenever, because Bayonetta, honestly, it is, I don't blame him. I actually think I blame Nintendo more. But whenever Bayonetta wasn't doing so well, he like shut off his Twitter because people were fucking dogging on him so hard. And then he posted a picture, and it was like him in the bathroom. And I guess he wanted to take a picture of his phone that he left Twitter, so he put his phone in his underwear, but his
Okay.
underwear was like ripped to shreds. And it's like, dude, we're not
Jesus.
even care that you're leaving Twitter. Like, you need to go buy a new pair of underwear.
Hey, he's out of work. I understand.
Did
and
Bayonetta
it's-
do that bad?
Yes.
It did.
I mean,
Oh, he was scenario director on that. He seemed more involved than Bayonetta 2 and 3.
it's one of those things that it was Bayonetta Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 were the entire time the Switch was a thing that just everyone was waiting for.
Okay, I get that. Hey, and for the first time in probably like however many years, I actually have both Bayonetta amiibos, but they didn't mean anything to me. But now I actually appreciate one of them a lot more.
What are they?
It's her costume from this game, then I think it's the costume from the second game with the short hair.
Okay, short hair looks very cool.
Yeah,
I like
that's
the
the one
short
I
hair
have
better.
open. The other one I don't have open just because I never open it, and I'm like, I don't click this, I don't care about it. Why are you showing me this? Like,
Yeah.
Twitter's just like, I'm not at Twitter for news. Come on, Elon Musk. I'm here to promote my podcast. That's it.
The rich businessman who just randomly bought a thing doesn't understand how it works. Wow.
But he's a
I know, I'm
genius.
shocked.
He's our version of Lex Luthor, but dumber. So, and no superpowers, no suit.
Well, with no Superman to really help us out, it's only natural that the Lex Luthor of our world is much less than Lex Luthor in DC.
Much less cool and interesting. It's just like a unopposed.
He's
Hey, I
just
can
like
see
a
Elon
dumb
Musk.
guy who can buy his way into success.
Except, is he? I mean, he's trying to, but he's also ruining it at the same time. Like when you buy a company for more than it's worth, and then all of a sudden tank it within a year.
He's still
Pretty
like
much of a
the
success.
second richest person in the world.
Yeah, that's the other issue too.
I'm not
It's
just
unfortunate.
talking about Twitter. I'm talking about like Tesla and everything else that he bought.
He just laid off 10% of their people. There's 14,000 people just are out of jobs because he can't figure out, his asshole from his face because they're both look and smell the same.
Well, they just recalled all the Cybertrucks anyway.
Man, so I live in the Bay Area, right? And I pass by that Fremont place or the facility a couple times a week, and I've seen a number of those trucks on the road. They look like a Xbox like Warthog from Halo.
Yeah.
They can't figure out how to render correctly.
Really fucking bad.
They're ugly, and then it's weird. They're a lot higher up than you'd think. But man, that is the ugliest truck, and there is a very specific kind of person that's driving that truck. Every time you see the person in the driver's seat, yep, stereotypes exist for a reason.
They do.
Jeez, man.
What's the stereotype?
It's the classic dude bro that like has more money than sense because they got lucky in the stock market or something, because the trucks are like $85,000. But like I saw one guy trying to haul lumber in the thing, but like a standard 2x4 didn't fit in it, so he had to tie it to the top of the car because it didn't fit in the bed because the bed can't hold anything other than a stuffed animal.
They're not made
play
for
Cuphead, though,
application. They're just made to worship your god, Elon Musk. That's the point of them. Come on now.
So something else I want to talk about.
Please take us away.
Besides Elon Musk.
Platinum Games in general. I feel like Platinum Games is a really interesting company now versus... Because like when they started, I remember it was such a big deal. They had 4 games in development. It was Infinite Space, Bayonetta, Mad World, and Vanquish. And then over the years, those didn't all do super well. So then they had their years of working for other companies like the Metal Gear Rising, Bayonetta 2, Star Fox Zero, the
Korra.
Ninja Turtles game, the Korra game, and most famously Nier Automata.
I want to play that Korra game, but I don't think I can buy it anymore.
But then they also had the Nintendo period where they're working with Nintendo a lot with Star Fox and then Astral Chain and everything else. But now they're in a weird thing now where it's like they were trying to do Babylon's Fall, which was like a live service game. They did their iOS World of Demons thing. Like I feel like they really lost their way.
And they've lost like their founding members. Like I don't know what Platinum even means anymore. They had that, what was it, Project GG, where they're like, oh, here's 6 new games from like our founders going back to their roots, and
that's
I guess
still a thing. But there's no other games announced. They worked on Final Fantasy 16. They worked on that Grand Blue Fantasy Relink game, but that was
on Final Fantasy 16.
Apparently, they were credited for additional work.
Okay.
Really?
I mean, they make sense as a support team on that game, I guess.
But like when Scalebound was canceled, like that was kind of like the big change.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it looked really good.
Babylon's Fall was such a huge flop. Like it was fine. Like how do you recover from that?
Like we were talking about last week, all the games that Square just randomly puts out, it doesn't market, and then they fail. Like that's a great example.
Square's a very interesting company now.
But like,
hey, they also made a Turtles game. I forgot about that. Mutants in Manhattan.
With Bayonetta kind of in the shitter, with no major franchise right now to really support them, where is Platinum Games at this point?
I don't know. I don't know where they've been for years.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been a long time since they've made a game that's worth a shit. Like Vanquish is awesome, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance rules, and Nier Automata is great. And other than that, like it's all sort of just this. It's all sort of just Bayonetta.
Hold on.
Wonderful
Mashy
101's real
combat.
interesting.
I don't.
Did you say that, Ian, about Wonderful 101?
That it was very good.
Yeah.
I don't believe I said it. Somebody else did, but I will agree
Yeah,
with that person.
It wasn't me.
Okay, I thought it was okay. Well, I think that's what it was too. I think it's what it is becoming your own indie company, because technically, whenever Wonderful 101 was like coming out, they apparently were also weren't they like teasing like they were making like 4 big games or some shit like that. And
Well, you're talking about the Kickstarter
announced that
version,
with
like
the
when they did the
Wonderful
remaster,
101.
right?
Yeah, they announced that along with the Wonderful 101 remaster.
yeah, and then it never came out. It got dropped. To be fair, I know that they were the ones responsible for the Nier Replicant remake as well.
Yeah,
This
that
is with
Wonderful
Toybox.
101 remaster.
That was a
came out.
different company.
Oh, was it?
Remastered came out in 2020.
It's a
No.
good remaster too.
They didn't make it
Yeah,
apparently.
so they also did a Kickstarter for that remaster, which was weird.
For Nier?
You know corporate
No,
companies
for
got to do
101.
Kickstarters?
Yeah,
No.
Wonderful
Near
101
the
remaster.
Replicant remake was Toybox.
Okay, I was wrong about that. My bad.
They did
but-
work on Automata though.
Yes.
Mhm.
But the important thing was that when they did the 101 remaster, they did announce a bunch of games that were supposed to be happening. And since then, we've got World of Demons on iOS, Soul Cresta, which is like a shooter, like one of those like long awaited
Hideki
sequels.
Kamiya shooter. That
Yes.
game's really interesting.
Babylon's Fall, Bayonetta 3, Bayonetta Origin.
Are you looking at the Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
And then
Oh, that's not. They're doing support studio work. Concept was
So
a
was
company.
Concept was like a
Concept
fake
helped
company,
develop
wasn't it?
Recore. They helped develop Recore.
How'd that work out
Oh,
for
they
them?
developed Recore. Hey, oh wait, they're part of Level 5 now. That's
Yeah, they got absorbed.
Oh.
weird. Did you hear a Level 5 game just came out in the US and it's just not marketed because they don't have a US branch? They just released it with not even a trailer.
What's it called?
That sounds right.
What is it called? I'm looking this up. It's a mech game. Megaton
idea.
Musashi.
Yes, that's been fucking Level 5's problem for years now, is they just put games out like Square, and no one fucking knows.
Wait, what's the name of that game?
Megaton Musashi.
Wired.
Mega.
Yeah, W Wired.
Now, since we're on the platinum list of games, I do want to bring up, like, I've always wanted to play Vanquish, and I don't know why I haven't yet.
Vanquish is awesome, and you can beat it in like 4 hours or something like that. It's really short.
Oh, I have it. I played
Vanquish is
Transform
real good.
Devastation once. I liked that game, and I thought Star Fox Zero was cool, except for the control scheme is complete utter garbage.
No, that whole game.
I thought it was interesting. I don't think it's a great
dumpster fire.
game, but I think it's interesting.
Why can't we
liked
get into
it.
Star Fox?
Yeah. Back in 2016, Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard came out. Star Fox Guard was like a thing you got. I have it behind me, actually. I just looked at it when I was trying to find Bayonetta 2, which I actually never bought.
They
That's kinda sad.
also co-developed Infinite Space, one of their first games, with Nude Maker, the Steel Battalion dev. 2 devs you would not expect to make like a really lengthy, involved space opera RPG, but that game's really cool.
Man, what a ballsy name, Nude Maker.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
I mean,
Infinite Space was their first published game.
I still want to try more of their games. I'm very curious to play more, but maybe, I mean, we are doing 1 in 2 weeks. We're doing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, or however you say that word.
Mike,
Revenge.
I did see you can buy a Steam key for Korra on G2A. It is currently on sale for $353.70.
Ooh, what a steal. What? You know, instead, I'll find another way to get a hold of it. So,
You know what?
Everyone sign up for the
$9.99's
Game of the Month
okay.
on Patreon to get that money up.
yeah, no. You subscribe to Patreon and vote in the polls. Don't. I can guarantee you the money will not be going to buy that game. I can guarantee you that.
Someone should just give Mike $353 for 1 month of subscription to Patreon.
I mean, I'd be happy, but it won't go towards Korra. I still won't buy Korra. I'll tell you that right now. But,
What if someone just bought you Korra?
I mean, if you want to give me a key, I will gladly take it. But I hope that as long as you don't pay a lot for it, like you just had it around.
Here's a question.
I can't guarantee it goes to anything.
Checking my humble library.
Does anyone know if the 8-bit version of Bayonetta still exists?
Oh, I bet you could like. Let me see. I bet you can have like a browser link for it.
The what?
There's an
They-
8-bit Bayonetta.
Yeah, it was made like as a joke thing. It's how they announced the PC version. They released a game called 8-bit Bayonetta, which is kind of just a nothing little mini game.
I found the trailer.
I feel like that'd be a fun little mini episode to do at some point.
Here, I'll
little mini
post it in the
game.
chat. I'll post it in the chat.
That's what you could call this game.
I mean, we are lengthening the episode just fine. Except I'm really tempted to cut out the early stuff, but I can't. Or we get her name wrong. So.
I got the name right. Someone else got it wrong.
Yeah,
I got it
we
wrong.
ran with the wrong one, so.
I got it wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with you cutting all of it out.
So,
I don't know.
So the link I posted, if you just post that in your browser, press enter, it'll install on Steam.
You could have taken that part out, except now that we're talking about it, now everybody's going to be like, what were they talking about?
Because we brought it up more than once, and the amount of work that it would have involved was not going to happen anyway. So yeah, it's in.
So we just have to
fine.
apologize to Jennifer Hale again. Sorry, Jennifer Hale.
I'm
You're
sorry,
fantastic.
Jennifer Hale. Helena
Now
Taylor,
I won't
you
really
can still
interview her for
suck
this
my
podcast
ass.
anymore. God, I'm just
God,
kidding. I don't
if
interview anybody.
you could get Jennifer Hale for the podcast, that would be so great.
I don't even try to interview people because I just don't want to. So yeah. I've interviewed a few people, and it's not my thing. I'll leave that to Bill Tucker. He does the interviews with people for Gamer Looks at 40. I don't
like
want
interviewing
to.
people. Interviewing people's fun.
I'll interview her on the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. We'll do an episode on that. Me and Jennifer Hale.
So I went down a weird rabbit hole, kind of go back
Like
to
this podcast?
Yes, like this podcast, actually. I looked up Itagaki, and so he did that Valhalla Studios, which he dissolved in 2021, having only made one game.
Yeah.
He's done 2 games since he released Ninja Gaiden 2 in 2008.
Yes. Devil's Sword and Samurai Jack Battle Through Time.
Jeez.
Oh, he's not really doing much anymore.
Well,
He's
see,
right.
that was the thing, though. Like, he, like everyone else around the same time in the early PS3 generation, everybody left their company and went to do their own thing. You know, what's the Capcom guy that I'm thinking of now? Mega Man guy. Inafune.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left. Kamiya left. All the Clover people left.
Oh God, remember he made that
Itagaki left around the
terrible,
same time.
that terrible Mega Man clone that was
Mighty Number 9.
I
Actually,
think that
they
game has a kind of interesting combo system. I don't think it's great,
Wait.
but
What we need to talk about with Inafune is the weird PSP visual novel that was made before that.
wasn't he making a Mega Man Legends like too?
I know what you're talking about.
Sweet Fuse by My Side is a PSP game that came out in retail stores in North America in like 2013. It's a really interesting visual novel, but that's a different story.
Soul Sacrifice is really good.
Oh, there's one thing about Bayonetta that we haven't talked about is the stupid. Well, yeah, that too. The stupid mini game that you do every time you beat a
Gun.
gun.
Attack.
I don't like it.
I always just skipped it.
I never scored more than like fucking 20 points. Anybody else?
A couple times. I actually got
pretty
80
good at it,
once.
but every time I play now, I just cash in my bullets for Halos because I don't want to play Angel Attack. I think it's terrible.
I got decent a couple times, but like on normal, because I was so bad, it was just like I'm relying on this to get lollipops.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if I replay it and things go better, which I hope to do one day eventually, maybe it won't be as dire. But like, yeah, Angel
Did not
Attack
click
was,
with you this time.
No, but I'm hoping Bayonetta 2, knowing what I know now, will be better.
Don't play it on your Switch Lite. I will say that. I think part of my problem was this game is such a spectacle, and I played 2 and 3 also on my Switch Lite, and that little ass screen is not showing what I needed to see. Like, there's so much going on that, like, your character's so small. I'm like, what? I can't even like parse what's going on the screen. So try to play it on the biggest screen you possibly can. Maybe that'll help.
I second what Colby said, because I played this on the Steam Deck, and there were multiple times where I said out loud to myself, I wish I was playing. I wish I was playing this on the TV, because it just didn't. I could just tell it. Just like this is a game that you want on a big screen TV with a spectacle, and I'm playing this on a little Steam Deck, and I'm like, but at the same time, like, also I don't really want to get off my couch right now, and this is nice and easy. So that's how it's gonna happen.
I do think it's kind of a cozy portable game, but you're gonna miss stuff.
Yeah, no, you definitely are, and you're missing part of the charm. Like, this is a game you play in like a 60-inch, 70-inch TV. Or Joe, what was that TV that tried to kill you?
It was 90 inches.
Okay, I bet this game would look good in that 90-inch TV. Maybe sit right underneath it. You can have the real climax experience if he crushes you. Hey, you know what? That would be fitting for Bayonetta to be by playing Bayonetta and getting crushed by a TV. It just would fit with that torture porn, I guess.
You know, we're just gonna keep making those jokes. I'm gonna go ahead and say now, before this podcast, I had Papa John's still as shitty. So you know, at the end of the
Papa
day,
John's is fine.
Papa
not
John's
the one I had.
terrible.
I had Domino's. It was okay.
Papa John's was fine. I prefer Papa John's over Domino's.
I'll take Domino's over Papa John's, and
But they cut your pizza.
I'll take Little Caesars over Domino's.
Little Caesars at the bottom. Pizza Hut and Domino's are a rung above that, and then Papa John's.
Play the jingle, Mike. Play the jingle. You have it saved.
I do have it. It hasn't happened yet.
And yes, they cut my goddamn pizza, but I will admit that I got the like little pepperoni things that I got with the fucking with Papa John's, and I literally bit into it, and I had grease fall down my chin. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be sick later today.
How are you feeling now?
I feel awful actually. So
I don't feel great either.
Oh, and one thing I want to mention about Bayonetta, we're nearing the end of this, I can tell, and I'm running out of time. But the other thing I want to bring up is I really, really, really don't know why, really like the little map with the little Bayonetta doll in the hand that moves it as you cross the levels.
It's so neat.
It was like,
cool.
It's
I'm here
cute.
for this.
And like
I just
at the
don't
beginning,
understand
it's
why
like
it's doing what it's doing.
and I don't know. I thought it was like a familiar doll or something. But yeah, and like the
cool.
map's on fire after Vigrid's on fire. Like it's fun. I saw a car on fire today on the highway.
The boss designs I think are cool and very sexualized. Like there's one that's like a giant like tentacle comes out of his mouth and it looks like he just got a dick out of his mouth when you cut it off. Like there was lots of like sex symbolism. I'm just like, you know what? This is fucking great. Like I really like the angel designs.
It's so cool.
This game's just horny. And
This game is horny.
I do agree. I don't think there's enough horny shit anymore, like in movies and video games and all that stuff.
They all suck.
Yeah,
Bring it back.
And I don't need it to be in everything, but it is refreshing to see like every once in a while. Because like, look, we're all humans. We want to see sexy stuff. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, you want to see some sexy stuff sometimes. So put it back in the fucking games, man.
But they're like, we know you have websites you can just go to instead. So that's why.
That's
I
that's
a really
true.
interesting thing up until like the early 2010s. Like I think the 2009 to 2011 or 12 era was like the most interesting like point of doing all of that, because that like going back to Catherine, that's when everyone was kind of like, well, we can do sexy, but also try to be more adult and interesting in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it evolving from just it's Itagaki doing beach volleyball games, right? This is like Bayonetta was trying to be something more.
To go back to that joke, when I had a poster of Tina from Dead or Alive Volleyball 2 above my bed, and my roommate, the one that I mentioned wouldn't like this game, she got mad at me. She's like, your son's seeing that. I'm like, so? And she's like, you need to take it down. She got mad at me, and I took it down. And I was like, I just remembered that. Like, oh yeah, I had a poster of Tina.
I think somebody just died.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
who died?
I don't know.
Die all the time.
I mean, also like we just a couple quick things to mention about this game because we're getting there. Like I guess the guy you're buying guns from, he's a demon, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you go to hell, I guess.
Bartender.
So
You don't go to hell. You're just you can traverse between, the world and
Yeah. I think it's like a bar in purgatory. It's called the Gates of Hell. He goes to hell sometimes.
Oh, okay. And
That's actually how you get new weapons. You get like vinyls of angels singing, and he takes them to hell, and the demons get so mad that they batter weapons into shape.
Okay, that's cool. I also like
it's weird.
the non-combat moments when you're walking around and like in the map, and like there's like you're like in a different dimension because you can see the other people like as like shadows. I did like that. That was cool.
And if you break things around them, they'll react to it because like, a bench just exploded and they couldn't see what happened.
Oh, two things. Funny enough, real quick. One, Bayonetta 2 does explain how Rodan gets those weapons. And I think it's actually a pretty cool way how they explain how he gets them, and I love that.
Okay.
Funny enough too, the Gates of Hell, which is the name of the bar that she goes to, Platinum Games has a bar in their basement that is the exact replica of that bar.
That's really neat.
And the bartender does scream in Japanese "welcome" every time someone walks in, and they say it's a pretty cool experience.
Is that like open to the public, or is it just for employees?
Public. No, it's open to the public.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Otherwise, I got to be like, that's a very expensive bartender. Yeah, we just pay this guy to be down here in case one of you guys need a drink. If we work you so damn hard, you can go have a drink. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Japan is different about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
very.
There's a real drinking culture. at
I
work.
mean, there's a drinking culture here. I'm from Milwaukee.
No, I know, but like mixing business and drunkenness is like a cultural thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I just always I thought that was normal when I was a kid growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where there. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not joking at the same time. There literally were bars like almost at every corner. Now there's not so much, but there used to be. Milwaukee is a drinking city and not a great city. I don't like where I'm from. I cut it down a lot.
Just move to Chicago, Mike.
I've been to Chicago. I like it, but I never lived there. I just been there a few times.
If y'all want another neat interpretation of how this handles like heaven, hell, and purgatory as overlapping dimensions, DMC Devil May Cry, I think, does that really interestingly.
Game better than Bayonetta.
Hey,
No.
It is written by Alex Garland, which is wild.
No,
Sure.
as much as I think that game's okay for what it is, I can rip that. We joke about the story in this. The story in this is predominantly okay. I can rip the story to DMC to shreds, honestly.
I like,
But
the story
that's kind of.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
It's trying.
I did too when I played it.
It's trying stuff, but yeah, it's
In fact, I wish they kept Virgil's fedora.
yes. In the director's cut, they removed it. It was perfect.
They removed it in
was
the original
perfect.
version too.
Oh, really? It was there when I played it on PC.
Oh, and I played the PS3 version. It was gone.
Weird.
All right. Should we go to questions, comments, or memories?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got
I don't have
nothing else
much
to say about this game.
I can't believe we talked about except we haven't really talked about this game. We talked about everything else but this game so far.
It's
so.
fine.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I can tell you that. Even our dumb comments. That's why people are here. All right, and then from the Giant Bomb group, I got a few actually. From John Honlin, the soundtrack rock.
Yeah.
From
Does this soundtrack gonna fly me to the moon?
Yeah, Fly Me to the Moon. It's like one of the main battle themes. That's so cool.
From Jarek Wilkinson, I still consider the best character action game ever made. It's as close to a perfect game as you can get in the genre, the gold standard.
Oof.
DMC 5's better.
From
DMC 5 is way better.
From Johannes Edhelm, I bought it at release, never played it, bought the remaster, and started playing it a while ago. The gameplay is very good, but man, those long cutscenes really mess up the patience. Like 2 minutes gameplay and 5-minute cutscene. I think I'm on chapter 7, really hoping the cutscenes get less annoying.
They do not.
They do not. No, especially that end. I was like, come on now, I don't have time for this. From Mason Luxembourg, Bayonetta is one of the best character action games, eclipsed only by its sequel. Seriously,
Wow.
Bayo 2 is amazing. It makes one look like a tech demo.
Yeah.
I believe
Okay.
that.
From Matt Willingby, that Fly Me to the Moon remix is a true banger. And from Stephen Kess, he put, Mom finds game, in quotations. I wish my son would look at internet porn like a normal child. From the official Laser Time community, from Chris Litchotes, it's fun, but 2 is way better, and 3 will be great when it's ported to Switch 2.
Oh, is it one of those that runs terribly?
No.
Apparently, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
I had fun with it.
I want to play Bayonetta 2 now, but I also don't. Now that I found I don't actually own it on Wii U because I never actually bought it. Like I could have swore I did, or if I did, I don't have the copy anymore because I lost it. I don't yet. I don't see myself buying this on Switch. Just to let you guys know. Could be a
I would
while.
just buy it on Switch and be done with it.
I just ran into a JoJo reference.
Oh.
I'm on the second John fight. Anyway,
From-
yep, can confirm.
From Rick Passmore. Love the first 2. A lot of ridiculous fun. I keep waiting for the third game to go on sale. It's hard to justify $90 for Switch games. I don't know. I'm guessing he might be in Canada. So, because that feels like a Canada thing. From Nick Turner, I played the beginning a couple of times and it was good. Mostly I remember the controversy going on around it during release, which in retrospect was ridiculous. There's too much shit going on while playing to pay attention to how naked Bayonetta gets during combos. And her cutscene behavior is more hilarious than erotic.
She wasn't even erotic. She was trying to be erotic.
I don't
People are
know.
just stupid.
Give it a year of dating, you might feel different.
Yeah, I think that's a subjective thing there.
Again, homo, but you know.
I mean, I thought it was erotic at times, but I mean, there's other. It didn't bother me. It didn't.
Well, okay, wait.
So-
Let me go back to and this isn't me trying to be controversial, but so like if you're gay, is
Yes.
there women you do find attractive?
I've thought about it before, and I think I could point you to 2 examples. They're from movies.
All right.
Real quick, Dominic, I hope your answer is the same one as my husband's. So let's go ahead and go.
I'm gonna guess probably not. Jennifer Connelly from Requiem for a Dream era,
All right.
and then Angela Bassett from Strange Days.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know
That
either of
would
those
be my
movies.
pick, but I see where you're going with that.
I was gonna say, weirdly enough, I know one of my husband's picks is Uma Thurman, which is weird, but
Did you watch
I
Batman and Robin as
see
a kid?
that.
Start with Uma
Yeah.
Thurman.
yes, but he's also a huge fan of Kill Bill, so
Oh, okay. Kill Bill's great. I think I haven't seen it in a long time.
It-
But, like,
it is great.
To be sexy though, I feel like putting on the act the entire time, it's not going to do anything. Like there's more to it than that. There has to be.
This probably isn't going to be anything that you don't know, but as a straight guy, that's really all I need is, hey, here I am, like, pulling off. I have long legs, and here we go, and I'm going to moan at you the whole time. Great, that's all I want, and I can be okay with that. Whether because I don't, especially I think she's kind of weirdly leggy. I think
Sure.
there's some weird aesthetic choices with her, and I don't think in real life I'd be like, hey, how you doing? But I'd be like, cool, you want to date me?
But also, then you'd probably
lost a bet, and I'm okay with that.
you'd probably get shot in the head.
I'm trying to imagine if like Luca was doing this in the game, I would just be like, okay, dude, cool, I guess.
But I think it's a lot different for a guy to do that in a game, to strut around and be hippie and wear very tight clothing, than for a girl to do it.
I mean, sure. I mean, we could make the line if Luca was trying to be like erotic and provocative in his way. We could say that. Like it's just something where it's like I feel like if you were doing a good job, I would still feel it and understand in like a more of like a that's interesting kind of way.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it too. It's kind of like the whole idea of where like people think that Dead or Alive beach volleyball is sexy, where there are some guys who are like, oh yeah, that's completely sexy, but me, I'm pansexual, but I sit there and go, man, those boob fitties are awful.
It just depends on. I mean, really, sex appeal really just depends on what is your type, what turns that person on. I mean, I'd kind of given away a little bit earlier when I made certain comments. So like, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But like, everyone has their own thing. You never really know until you just figure it out. Like, I didn't realize a long time ago when somebody brought over freaking La Blue Girl that was like, I see. You just never know.
I have feelings now.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna get back to questions, comments. I got one more group to read from. I watched the entire Overload Super replay. I knew this going in. I was going to make these comments, so this isn't surprising. It just came out anyway. No alcohol either, by the way. So from Zach Harris.
Congratulations.
Bayonetta is amazing. Felt like it came out of nowhere for me when it was first released. Could be wrong, but I believe it was the first game to do the last second dodge gives you a huge positive buff. You see a lot in character action games today. Everything is perfectly goofy, and the characters are a blast. Bayonetta herself become iconic in just a single game, and obviously the weakest part of the entire game is the insta-kill quick-time events. Thank God they went away after the first game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then from Star, friend of the show, also any thoughts on the situation that unfolded with the voice actor regarding payment for their work?
We've come full circle.
Well, if you're listening to this episode, Star, you already know about that. So
Guess we're not
Blame
gonna-
me.
Oh, we're not in it. I'm not. I might. Yeah, it's not getting it. I'm just gonna put an apology in there. That's all. Make sure, like, we made a mistake. Please listen to the full episode. That's it. So. Oh, and also from Star, I bet the fan service element of this game has already been discussed, but comparing it to modern example fan service in gaming, gacha games, Stellar Blade, etc., how and in what way do you think this game sets itself apart from those? I feel like
It makes more sense here.
I think we
It,
just did
it does
that.
make more sense here,
Yeah.
and Bayonetta seems to be having fun with it. Like she actively seems to be enjoying the sexuality instead of like, oh, here's a picture to look at.
Which
Okay, here's a great example, actually. The Raiden sequence in Metal Gear Solid 2, I don't find sexy, but it is interesting.
I find it hilarious.
Bayonetta is not trying to be any more or less than what it is. A lot of like modern games are trying to hide it so that I think they don't get in trouble or irritate somebody. Bayonetta is just like, cool, I'm here, my clothes come off when I attack you, and I'm going to moan while I do it. Enjoy.
But I also like that female empowerment where it's seen as it's her choice to be like this, and that's a big thing for me.
I need to ask Dominic something. What sexy scene from Metal Gear Solid 2?
Or Raiden is naked and doing cartwheels around the hallway.
Oh, well, yeah, that's provocative.
That's how I try out after
but-
a shower.
It is interesting.
But I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna go jag off to that later. Like that's not doing it for me.
I mean, but it's also played very humorous. It's not like even this game. Like I don't think like I mean
This game is very lighthearted.
yeah, it's sexy in a way, but it's not like it's. I mean, I don't think. I mean, maybe if you're a 13-year-old kid or like, oh, okay, but yeah, other than that, I don't think so. And last comment we're going to read from Brian Brown. I love Bayonetta so much. The game is just so over the top at every conceivable turn. My favorite moment of the game is when she jacks an angel for their motorcycle, then puts her middle finger in the ignition to start it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. When I started reading that sentence, I was like, wait a second. Wrong wording.
Okay.
You tell me a guy in 2009 writing that is not some kind of edgelord.
Kamiya has always struck me as kind of an edgelord. Y'all see that picture of Kamiya and his mom when he was a kid? It's one of my favorite pictures on the internet.
Is it better than Kamiya in his underwear?
No, Kamiya and his mom. I'll post it in the Facebook.
It's a picture of him. He's wearing like a leather jacket with like a fucking the Union Jack on like the shoulder and on like a glove he's wearing. It's cool. Like oh yeah, that's the kind of man who grew up into the man we know today. I think it's his wife. It's not is his mom or his wife?
I'm pretty sure it's his mom.
Okay, and then
that rules.
One final note that I wanted to make about this game, which I think is really cool. The final dance sequence for this game is made in one day. The mocap woman, who is, like I said, is mostly famously known for bringing this character alive. They had her, I think they said they had her mocap dances all day. And the very last day of production, the producer of Platinum saw Kamiya running around gathering people up, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it, it's a surprise. And they spent the last day of production creating that last dance sequence in the game, the one where she's like dancing with like the angels and like the other witches.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah. Everyone but all the main characters were not dancing except for Jean, which I thought was very funny. She was just like dancing around them, but all the angels were dancing.
Okay. All right, I want to give away a code real quick because this is going to be a theme going on. You're going to see for next few episodes. The Walking Dead Season 1 Steam code. I have the full set, guys. Woo! You're only getting one though, and the code is 5QLR7I4FEICQE7. That is your Steam code for The Walking Dead Season 1.
Great game, better than Bayonetta.
You can listen to me and Mike play that game for Sad Dad-tober, where me and Mike played several horror games that were dad themed for some reason.
That wasn't on purpose, by the way. When we did
it was funny though. And
there
then
are a lot of horror games.
So we're gonna do Nier for 2025 then?
I don't know. I really do want to play Nier, but I don't know. I made enough promises to myself of what I want to put in. I need to stop, so I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, no. I already told Mike he can't do Nier until he does Drakengard, which he has.
I haven't done Drakengard yet.
Yeah.
Ooh, Drakengard.
We're going to do it next year, most likely. And I own it. I played it once. I want to play it again. But, all right,
I'm very interested in Drakengard.
So we're going to go to Shelf Stacker Box.
Great.
And Colby, I haven't heard from you in a while. What about you, Shelf Stacker Box?
Box. I never need to play this or any other games like this ever again. The mashy combat is just so boring to me. And like I said, the action is so over the top that none of it is over the top. I'm completely turned off to these kinds of games anymore.
You do know what you're on in about 3 weeks, right?
That's different. That actually has some interesting stuff to it. I've been playing that, and it still rules.
Okay. And Ian?
I will definitely... Oh, well, I own like 5 copies of it, so I have them everywhere, in a box, on a shelf, at work. I use them as insoles. No, this game's great. I'm always happy to play it again. I think 2 is better, but yeah, I'm down with it.
Okay. I'll put that as shelf then. I don't keep track, but someone does. Richard might still. I don't know. And Joe?
I'll also put this on the shelf. I had a lot of fun with this game. Funny enough, I am okay at this game. My partner whoops complete ass in this game. I don't know how he does it, but he can pretty much, not pure platinum, but he can pretty much hit every dodge on this game and everything. And I think it's fine. You should play this one, play the sequel, and then play the third game. And as soon as you beat the boss, rip your Switch out and then take out the game cartridge and never touch it again.
All right, okay. I'll go next. I'm going to put this in the shelf also. I had a really good time. This was a fun, short action game. I beat it in 3 days. I didn't really want to put it down, plus because I was behind on schedule. And I just had fun. I had a really good time. So, going on the shelf, and I'm really glad I finally have played it. It only took me 20 years. No, not that long yet. It only took me like 15 years, so hey.
15.
It's like
15 years.
And Dominic.
14, yeah. I'm going to, put it on the stack, but, the top of the stack, and it's kind of, half hanging off, and, it could fall into the box if it got, a hit well enough, So if it fell into the box, it won't be the biggest deal, but I do want to play the Bayonetta 2 disc that I have, so it's going to be in the stack for now.
Okay. And Daniel.
Yeah, I think it's going to be shelf. I'm like going to keep playing and venturing into the higher difficulties and higher scoring stuff. Like this got me back into Bayonetta. That's like Devil May Cry. This is a game that I don't want to like finish and put down. I want to replay it and see what else it has to offer. And
that's what it's meant for. It's that type. It's meant to be replayed and to try to get chase scores, which I know you like doing because you like shoot 'em up too. So
I do. I really like that arcade style thing. If a game really has that depth and rewards me and lets me track replaying, I am on board.
Which I hate personally. So
lots of people do. I pulled I watched the entire Overblood Super Replay group or something at one point over like how do you deal with like games where the scoring is really in your face and like obviously a focus like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, and the vast majority said like, I just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
There are some games I like doing it, but it depends.
It's gotta just be that game that just clicks for each person, I think too.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Adventure 2, I will score chase all day.
That game will live in my memory as one of my early girlfriends came over, spent like summer with me, and that's what we did is play that game every single day. We never did get Green Hill Zone. We got damn close. We were 3 or 5 S's away.
Could not imagine.
Oh, I need to do that.
We were damn close, but we just couldn't get S. I could do S I learned how to do S on Tails and Robotnik levels. She was really good at the Rogue and Knuckles, and then she could do some of the Sonic and Shadow ones, but we got damn close. We just could not finish it. I still have the memory card. Actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you still have that saved?
I think I do. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have it in a container behind me, but I'm never gonna look nor bother. So, but yeah, that was one summer.
Finishing that would be a fun thing to do for like an episode.
I'm not good enough.
Let's go through Mike's
that skill level, the amount of time that went into that summer playing SA2B. That's a different Mike and doesn't exist anymore. I play a game for more than like 3 hours at a time. I'm like, I need a nap. So, 2 things before we wrap this up. One, I want to announce what we're talking about next week. Next week, you can hear us talk about Prey 2017. Is it? I think.
Yes.
Okay, that one. So you get to hear about that next week. And I do want to say the reason why I'm going to leave in a couple of reasons, but one reason I'm leaving in the bullshit where we did earlier, where we got the name wrong, it's to kind of show us a social experiment of how people can get confused with the name and just run with it. But we corrected ourselves because we realized, even though Dominic pointed out in the first place, we just ran. But again, it shows you people can run with the wrong information and keep going. But when given the right information, you should go, oh yeah, I made a mistake. And I go, oh, I'm okay with it now because it's the guy I like, not the other guy. Oh, it's okay. He said that. So, and yes, there's a reason. Yeah, people get. And I mean, I was watching a dumb TikTok. They were like, "Oh, well, this guy said this." Like, "Oh, I hate him." Yeah, actually, it was said by the guy you love. Oh, that's okay then if he said it. So, same point. But we correct ourselves.
I'll try and learn.
We had a moment.
Be better.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
Oh, we made a mistake. It doesn't matter. It's all about. It's just a stupid fact when the mistake is pointed out to you, go, no. Yeah. That's all. And I'm also too lazy to edit out all the work that we after, but that's the other part of it. But I just that's something I thought about later on. Like, yeah, I want to leave it in because I want to point out like how things can get, and I'm sure we're not the only people that have made that mistake just because of now she's entwined with the other person in a way. So,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure, but I'm sure people have made angry YouTube videos blaming the wrong person and did not correct it because angry YouTube video gets you clicks. All right. We should go to plugs. Daniel, where can people find you at?
I am Dan Mellman on Instagram. I post a lot of pictures of my cat, Gus, and he's great. So follow me there.
And Ian.
I am Aerith_33 on Instagram. I post a bunch of drone videos on there. So come along, take a ride, and tell me what you think.
Mr. Colby.
You're not going to find me on social media, but you can find my podcasts. I mean, you'll find me there, but I'm not going to post anything on there. You can listen to my podcasts, which is the thing I actually like to do, is make podcasts. Jack Billings Presents, which is a scripted comedy show, and This Bizarre Adventure, which is me watching through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure time. And we've finally gotten into Stardust Crusaders, which is apparently where the real JoJo starts, even though I fucking loved Phantom Blood and Battle Tendencies. But yeah, you can listen to me watch through JoJo the first time. It's incredible.
And Mr. Dominic.
You could find me on the Dissonant Waves podcast on YouTube. We're still lazy enough to not put it anywhere else, but one day we will. I'm also on the Overblood Facebook group, Dominic Chrichocki on Twitter, YouTube. No, DACICHOCKI on Twitter. I'm forgetting my own socials.
That's okay.
Dominic Chrichocki on YouTube,
Twitter?
and yeah, of course. And then Dominic Chrichocki, one word on Instagram if you must follow me there. I've never even thought about plugging that before, but first time for everything, I guess.
Right. And you will see links to all these wonderful gentlemen's stuff in the show notes. Definitely go check them out. And if you want to support the show for a little $1 a month, you can vote on our Patreon. We have polls every month, 1 to 2, depending on if I'm behind or not. So definitely go do that. You get to affect the show. And please join our Discord. You can chat with us for free. Just chat. We're always happy to have new people join us and talk and whatever the hell goes on in that Discord. Please join us. You'll see a link in the show notes. And want to give a shout out.
You can argue with me on the Discord.
That too.
Hit me up to play some Street Fighter.
That too. So yeah, join our Discord. And we want to give a shout out my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fear. You can follow her on TikTok,
Different Helena.
Twitch, Instagram. A good Helena. Very good Helena. Very cool ass person. So no, actually she spells her name different too. So there's that too.
Good.
And her last name is not Taylor.
Well, you're a different person.
Yes, completely. And very
Two people can have the same name.
Who would have guessed? I mean, right, Colby? Can you imagine people having the same first name?
I can't imagine.
Spoiler, we're both named Mike. All right, and I want to give a shout out to Bill Tucker at A Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go check him out. Check out Nomads of Fantasy, Nintendo Main Podcast. That's some of the friends I work with, so definitely go check out some other shows. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, audio only. You can find us on all those things. Rate and review us wherever you get your podcast to, please. Help me out a lot. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Good luck playing Prey by next weekend, Mike.